Hello, welcome back to Heritage House. My name's Jasmine. I'm really excited that you've stopped by today.
We're going to be making an apple pie and some chicken with sweet potatoes and green beans. So let's dive in. So here I am peeling the apples, coring them, getting them all ready to mix up the filling. I prefer to make apple pie with Granny Smith apples. I just feel like the sour tart apple balances all the sweet that you get and just makes it the perfect apple pie. So this recipe is really good, and I did a blend of regular sugar and brown sugar. I just like that combo. And then a little bit of lemon juice and lemon zest really helps just make the flavors pop. So this was delicious. I made this with sourdough pie crust, which I've done a couple times recently, but it just gives you the ability to break up the recipe and gives you all those awesome sourdough benefits. So definitely something that I love. If you don't use citrus zest often, I highly recommend it. It really can either be very flavor forward depending on how much you use, or it can just be subtle and help brighten and make things just really, really yummy. So definitely recommend trying more of that if it's not something you do. Funny story. So my mom lived with my husband and I for several years, and she recently, well, we're actually approaching a year ago that she moved out, and we were just getting her, settled in her new place and separating kitchen things that, we kind of blended over time. And I had this all ready to go and realized that I did not have a pie plate because we'd been using hers for quite some time. So I improvised and used my cast iron skillet, which worked so great. I mean, really, that's an awesome way to make a pie, and it looks beautiful. You just have to, you don't want to let it sit in there because it can get that iron taste. So you want to make sure to pull it all out, after it's done. That's that same day that it's done, and not let it sit. But it is a pretty way, and it gets very crispy crust and just has an awesome look to it. But that was pretty funny discovery that I did not have a pie plate when everything was ready to go. covered this in egg wash and put it in the oven till it was bubbly and golden brown. It was so yummy. I love apple pie, especially when it's cold outside. And, it's just super yummy when you add a little vanilla ice cream to it. So this was a great treat, went over well. My twin girls had their first apple pie and they loved it. So now I'm getting started on dinner. I'm going to make some pan roasted chicken, baked sweet potatoes, and some green beans with garlic sauteed with garlic and butter and some oil. I have mentioned this before, but it's something that I think is so important. I learned it years ago, but with as far as fresh ingredients go, like seasonings and herbs, two that really, really get you a long way is fresh garlic, fresh minced garlic, and cracked pepper, fresh cracked pepper. Those two ingredients, like if you're not going to get anything else like fresh, those two go a really, really long way. So, just something interesting that I have really found to be true. So, I'm just whipping this up. Most dinners, I put a little forethought into some things, but I typically just get stuff that I know we're going to eat, different meats, vegetables, sides, potatoes, rice, different things like that, and just kind of cook what I feel like cooking that day. I am not a meal planner. I I like order, I like to be organized, but I'm a very spontaneous person and meal planning is just not my jam. Not at all. I have tried and tried to do it and I just don't. Just does not go well for me. It's just too rigid and restricting and depending on what the day holds and all that. Everybody's different. Everybody has different personalities. Some people it works great for, and that's awesome. There are no one size fits all things. The main thing is get nourishing ingredients and cook real food however it works for you. That is the goal. That is what is important. And there's different seasons. Sometimes we're in a season where it's more survival mode. Sometimes we're in a season where we can put more effort in, and require a little bit more of ourselves, be more creative. We all have those different seasons, and it's really good to dial in and not compare ourselves to other people. I used to do that so much. It's like with one thing specifically with meal planning, I just thought you had to meal plan. Like if you were going to be successful and you were going to have a well-ordered house, you had to meal plan. And you don't. You really don't. If you keep your fridge and your pantry stocked and you just cook a meat, cook a side or two, it's all going to work out, If you have a new recipe you want to try, obviously you've got to put some thought into that. But you can do things your own way, how they work for you. Comparison is such a thief of joy. And in our social media culture, we can just compare, compare, compare. And let me tell you, everybody has their own unique things that work for them. And God did not design us to be one size fits all, copycats of each other. He wants us to follow Him, be unique expressions of who He is, and really follow His Spirit, follow the leading of His Spirit within us. So be yourself and do what works for you. If you like to meal plan, meal plan. If you don't, and you think you have to, let this be your realization that you really, really don't. You can have freedom to do things how they work for you. So I'm taking time here towards the end of making dinner to mix up some bread. And this is something I never would have done just a year ago, I never would have done this. Making bread while I'm making dinner, there's no way. But now it's just something I'm super familiar with. It's simple to weave in here and there, and anything can be like that. So, learning new skills for your home, taking care of things around your house, things you're interested in, they can seem daunting at the beginning, but then can just become part of your normal routine. And that's pretty cool. Learning is something that is so good and healthy for us, and we can surprise ourselves and really have pride in things that we're doing. And it's a really, really good feeling. It's a good feeling to learn and grow and have a new skill. So, this was a really yummy meal. Sweet potatoes with butter and salt are just so great. It's so easy, but they're just such a delicious side and so healthy. This chicken we had with a little teriyaki sauce, it would be great with barbecue. Just that little sweet carryover from the sweet potato was just really yummy, pairs really well. And then, of course, sauteed green beans with garlic are always a winner. Well, I have so enjoyed being with you this week. If you enjoy this channel, please subscribe, share with a friend, and leave a comment. What did you enjoy about this, and what would you like to see from me in the future? I am so grateful for you. You have a wonderful, wonderful week.